Hello, everybody. My name's Isaiah, and we're back with the second part of the Jerry Wayne Martin-Kosis analysis. Let's get it going.
I'm referring.
His ears look like those prawn crackers you get from a Chinese restaurant. Fuck.
Yeah.
Look at it.
There's some pretty inappropriate stuff in here.
Yes.
And the kind of mentoring you're talking about in your chat involves her doing some sexual things to you.
I never said anything in that nature.
Wow, so he still doesn't understand that Chris has got the chat log. He's got the readings and the writings of everything this guy said. And I think he believes maybe he could just say, oh no, I didn't write that. You can't prove it's me. And I mean, it's not a stupid thing to think you could say that. I mean, you can get out of a lot of things with a good lawyer. That's what he thinks at the moment. That's what I believe.
Well, her getting on top of you and urinating on you.
Oh. Oh. Oof. Bad boy. Bad boy. What happened to you, Jerry? What the fuck happened to you? What drives a person to want to be excreted on by someone else? Urine is something you excrete from your body. It's ammonia, like heavily concentrated ammonia. And the proteins you break down, the waste you don't need, it's excreted. Your body doesn't want it. It doesn't want it on you. And for some reason, people want it on them. And I just can't understand why. It's absolutely disgusting. I understand when you get like horny, you want things. Like you might, sometimes I know, for example, I'll be watching porn or something. And I'll be really into it. And then when I'm done, I'm like, oh, like, what was I just watching? Like, fuck it. Like, I'll turn it off. When I do watch porn. But, like, this is just beyond, like, sick. And there are people who get even talk about it when they're not horny, and that's when there's something wrong. Like, if you're getting horny and you're getting turned on and you're being aroused by the idea of being excreted on, you need to take a good hard look at yourself. I think it's absolutely disgusting. And if you're at that point, it's only going to get worse. And I think you know what's going to get worse. It's going to be number 2. So do you just stop there, in my opinion.
How?
I got the chat
Okay.
right there, Jerry. I mean,
He's got such a slack jaw.
I can read it back.
And that's hit him hard. He's like, oh, he knows. And if someone says that to you, you just be like, this person probably thinks I'm the biggest loser, disgusting freak. This person despises me. And you get embarrassed. I think he's a bit embarrassed. It's an embarrassing topic. You don't want anyone to know you're into that sort of thing. That's why it's so weird. Like, I want to see his chat log. I might have a look at his chat log because at what point do you bring up urination? Like, if I was dating someone and they brought that up after we'd been going out, I'd be like, fuck no. And my whole interpretation of my partner would change if they said that to me. Not even just partner, just someone I'm dating. Like, I'd be totally into them, and if they said that to me, I'd be turned off. So I wonder what gave him the confidence and insight to think that he could say that and the girl wouldn't run away. I mean, it is a decoy, and the decoy's going to stay and try and lure you in. But if it was a real girl, for argument's sake, how could you say that and think she'd stay? And a girl of that age isn't into that sort of stuff. She doesn't even understand, like, sex to an extent. She might understand the idea of it, but not, like, she won't understand it fully until she's experienced it. So she hasn't even got to that level of sick stuff yet, or understanding of that sick stuff. So how could you say that to a little girl? I have no idea.
Actually, too much.
No, you don't have to.
Oh, no, don't read that shit to me. Literally, don't read that shit to me because he probably talks about shit soon.
You talk about whether or not she drinks. You talk about tickling her.
Ooh, tickling her.
Yeah, that. But nothing.
You talk about seeing her cuter side. What's my cuter side if you pull your pants and panties down?
How is that the cuter side? Okay, that's weird. Like, let's talk adults because I don't like talking children and that sort of thing. I don't like I don't like saying the word sexy and children in the same sentence. And I think that might be him trying to repress the idea that he's a pedophile. Or not a pedophile, you know. Someone told me the other day there's different levels of pedophilia. There's like, I don't know, it was like a hemophile or something. But let's just say pedophile, or predator at least. He, what was I going to say? Hang on, what did Chris just say? I lost track.
What's my cuter side if you pull your pants and panties down?
So he didn't want to say sexy side because I think deep down he knows it's completely wrong to call a child sexy. It's disgusting. It's despicable. But he's feeling it. Like that's what he's feeling at the moment. So I reckon when he was typing, he might have written sexier side or hotter side, and he changed it to cuter side because to him, he's okay with that. Like there's a part of the human mind that knows what's morally correct, no matter how evil you are. Hitler was sick. I know I'm bringing Hitler into a Jerry Wayne Psychosis video, but let's just say Hitler, there would have to have been a part of him that knew he was insane. There was a part of him that knew what was happening was wrong. There would have had to have been. Even if it was just a little part. I think every person has a moral compass. It's just if you listen to it or not. And if you can mask it and ignore it, then you can get around it. And that's what pedophiles, murderers, they do. They have their moral compass that says you can't kill this man. And then another part of your brain, which is trying to mask it and hide it, says, oh, mate, this guy, he's a bad person. He's possibly killed people before. He's stolen money. He hurt you, hurt him back. And then you're like, that's right, and you murder the person. He's trying to mask that he doesn't want himself to believe that he's a pedophile. But he is. He's a predator at least. He's come to meet a girl. He wants her to do all that stuff. He wants her to pull her panties down. But just by him saying cuter is a clear indication that he doesn't want to believe he is a predator. He doesn't want to believe it. And he doesn't want to use too vile language like sexy, hot, attractive, beautiful. He's trying to use cute. Like you can call a kid cute. Like I've got cute nieces. I've got cute, my cousin. Yeah, I've got cute little children. They're gorgeous. But he's trying to use that, as I just said, in substitution for sexy. Because he thinks it's an innocent thing to say, but it's not. We know what you mean by cute. And you just explained it. You defined it for us. And it's pulling down pants, doing all this sick shit.
I said if I would see. I was trying to dance around that.
You were trying to dance around it.
What was he trying to dance around? He was trying to dance around it, yeah. Wow. He doesn't even open his mouth. Like, his teeth are always touching when he talks. This dude's got some big-ass ears, I'll tell you that. Those ears are huge. Like, those ears are actually really big. They're starting from, they're like half, like a third of the size of his actual hat. Like, this long part of his hat. Wow, he's got big ears, man. I didn't even notice.
Skipped over it, I believe. I don't want to get that far into that side of a chat.
You didn't want to get too far on that side of the chat.
Yeah.
You talk about what kind of clothes you'd like her to wear. Tank top, a micro mini skirt.
Wow. He didn't want to get too far into that side of the chat, but he's come here. Um, you know, this guy is simple. I think he's a bit simple, and he may like want to be a friend to this girl. I'm not. I don't. I don't think that's the case. But let's just say, for example, Forrest Gump. Like Forrest Gump, he wouldn't hurt a kid. I know it's a movie, but if he was online talking to a kid, he would go around and be a friend with them. You know what I mean? There are people like that who would be friends, but Forrest Gump wouldn't talk about urinating on a kid. So he's here for bad things. Look at him there. Like he's a disgusting person. He's the filth of the earth.
She asks about panties, and you say, you can't go without that?
Oh. So he's definitely delving into that side because he doesn't have to bring this stuff up. If you want to be a friend, if you want to be a mentor, you don't talk about that stuff. There's an infinite amount of things you can talk about. You can talk about schooling, sports, the weather. You can talk about anything. He's talking about panties and not wearing them. He's going there, okay? He's trying to say he's not going there, but mate, you're fucking going there.
I mean, you basically asked her to urinate. Right?
Right.
Is that appropriate talk to have with a 13-year-old girl?
No, it's not.
Then why did you...
He's owning up to it. Look at his fucking eye. He's owning up to it. And that's what I always see, a predator who's learning from their mistakes. I mean, a lot of predators can't change their sexual preferences. It's hard. To be honest, chemical castration might be the only way. But at least he's owning up to his mistakes. I'll give him that.
Wasn't thinking too clearly.
Do you do this sort of thing often?
And see, Chris didn't delve into that more because that's truth. Like, it's the truth. He wasn't thinking clearly because he was horny, most likely. That's in all cases. He was horny. He thought he could get away with it. He was thinking with his penis. And you got to think with your brain. But the problem is he doesn't have a brain. Remember, he's got no brain in there. No, but seriously, all seriousness, that's the reason why a lot of these guys get caught. They're not thinking. They're not thinking it's wrong. They're not using their brains that have evolved over thousands and thousands of years to get to where we are. They just think they just go back to their primal instincts of, sex this, sex that, and they go for it. There's a lot of ethical considerations you have to consider, and he's not thinking about it. He's just thinking about what he wants, and that's it. He's not thinking the wider picture, how it's going to affect the girl, how it's going to affect the family, how it's going to affect people around her, like her friends. Like, friendships might break down. When she goes to the workplace, like, she might be late to work because she's depressed and she's up that late. The ripple effect of molesting a child is extensive and affects communities. Like, he's not thinking about that. All he's thinking is the 10 seconds he's going to have with her, and that's it. Like, the 10 good seconds. It's fucking disgusting, but it's a fact. That's what he's thinking of.
No.
So I suppose this is the first time you've done anything like this.
Yes.
As usual.
But saying it's the first time really doesn't matter because you're here and you were willing to do it. So it really doesn't get you off the hook, does it?
No.
What do you do for a living, Jerry?
I'm a park attendant.
A park attendant.
Fancy word for someone that picks up garbage, I believe.
Presumably in that position you have contact with teenage kids, girls and boys.
All at the legal age, I guess 18.
So when you say park attendant, what exactly do you do?
And then I go around and pick up trash and stuff like that.
In public parks?
Pick up trash. Well, I guess you're going to be having to pick up yourself, mate, because you are trash.
In what city?
LA.
LA. And so you're in the public parks, and you're exposed to kids.
Pretty much.
Is this appropriate behavior for somebody who is out in the public and has contact with children, teenagers?
No, it's not.
So what should happen to you, Jerry?
Well, be dealt with under the legal extent of the law.
Did you bring anything with
He's answering the questions great. I mean, we know you keep quiet. I've said it about 1 million times in all my videos, but he's answering the questions straight up. Do you think that reflects what sort of person he is? Is he a straightforward guy who will tell you the truth then in, then out? I mean, he told a lie at the start. He said she was 18 at the start, and then so he does lie, but I think he can't lie too much. You know what I mean? Like, you got people like John Pierre Wary who lies so greatly. Like, the amount they lie is huge. So it's a spectrum. It's not black and white. You can't be a liar or a truth teller, but you can be like a huge liar or like a little liar who has trouble lying and feels bad about it. I think he's that sort of guy. Like, he can't lie. He tried to lie for the sake of his freedom, but he couldn't do it. He mentioned Chloe, I mean, at the start. He could have not mentioned Chloe, but he did.
you today?
No.
Anything for Chloe?
No.
You're sure?
Positive.
Yeah, he didn't bring that chocolate. She asked for chocolate. He didn't bring it. Look at his eye. Like, he's got a really lazy eye here, or I think the muscles that pull the eyelid back. What is it? The occipitofrontalis. I think that's occipitofrontalis. Maybe it pulls the eyelid up. It's not being pulled up. He's a bit lazy there.
Well, there's a couple things you need to know. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. We're doing a story on adults who try to meet young teens.
Damn.
If there's anything else you'd like to say, we'd like to hear it. If not, you're obviously free to
Okay.
feel free to leave.
Okay. Would it be possible to ask if I can be anonymous, or would I just be exposed?
Wow. Can I just be anonymous? Just all this investigation, all this money you've put into it, and make me anonymous, and there's going to be no monetary benefit for you or NBC or anyone who's put money into this. You can get none back by not airing this footage. That's what he's asking.
We have made no decisions as to who's going to be in the story yet. We just don't know.
Okay.
But you're free.
He's just sitting there, and his eye contact is so intense. I mean, he stares directly at Chris most of the interview, and it's like a blank stare. There's nothing behind it. There's no anger. There's no happiness. It's just a man and his bare thoughts, like bare minimum thoughts, if anything. You know what I mean? Like, have a look. Where are we? 8:54. Just like even here, like, there's nothing there. It's just, he's just looking like, he's so dopey. He's just, look at him. He's got nothing. He's got nothing there. A lot of predators have emotion. Like, I'm looking at this Chris Moore guy here. He's pretty dopey too. Like, no emotion behind the eyes. Is that the indication of a psychopath? I mean, if someone's being caught in a sting, their life's about to be ruined, and they don't care, like, they're not even upset, I feel like that's the indication of a psychopath. Surely. We're nearly done. It's been like an interesting predator. He hasn't been great, but he's a funny guy. Another freak.
I understand.
And he leaves. I mean, quite a polite guy. Interesting, very interesting video. And again, just another guy who's doing the wrong thing. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed. Till next time, see ya.